The Canon R6 was released in the summer of 2020 alongside the R5, and it has quickly found itself a nice little spot in the market for photographers and videographers alike. It's a full-frame mirrorless camera that uses Canon's new Digic X processor. It can shoot silently at up to 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter. It can capture 4K 60p video. It also includes next generation image stabilization and is sensitive up to ISO 102,400 for amazing low light photographs and video. And today we're going to take a closer look at some of these factors and more as we break down my top 10 reasons for getting yourself a Canon R6 in 2021. So first up on my list is the 4K 60 frames per second filming option. It comes with a minimal 1.07 times crop, which is far better than the 1.7 times crop of the 4K on the original EOS R. And really, having that 60 frames per second at 4K is a great step up from the EOS R. We could only shoot 60 frames per second at 1080, and the R6 also offers 120 frames per second at 1080. And moving on with video, our second point is Canon log. Yes, internal 10-bit 422 C-Log. If you're coming from the EOS R, you will probably be used to using internal 8-bit C-Log or 10-bit externally, but if you're moving from older cameras like the 6D, the 5D Mark III or 4 without the add-on, having C-Log really opens up your video creations to a whole new world of color grading possibilities. And to complement those filming capabilities is our third point, which is the in-body image stabilization. The Canon R6 features the same 5-axis in-body image stabilization system as the Canon R5, and pairing your R6 up with some image stabilized RF glass makes for a perfect handheld run-and-gun filmmaking setup. But it also allows handheld photography at shutter speeds up to 8 stops longer than normal without camera shake. And here is a good place to add that if you haven't done so already, don't forget to add yourself to the KaiCreative Facebook and Instagram feeds, where you can stay up to date with all of our photography sessions, video productions, short films, camera reviews, and other creative happenings. So I know I've kicked things off with a lot of talk about video functionality, but now let's take some time to talk about the sensor size and what it means for photographers. And our fourth point is that full frame 20 megapixel sensor. And straight away you might be thinking, hold on a second, only 20 megapixels. The original EOS R has 30 megapixels and the R5 has a massive 45 megapixel full frame sensor. But what does that actually mean for your photos? Well, having less pixels means that you can have bigger pixels on the same surface area, and that in turn means that you can hold more light in relation to the noise created by the sensor. And this is evident from the extended ISO ranges on the Canon R6, which go from 100 up to 102,400, expandable up to 204,800, making this camera ideal for shooting in low light conditions. And the R6 photos should be indistinguishable from the R5 and R unless you blow them up to a big poster or banner size. So if you're going to be doing that regularly, then maybe the R6 isn't the right camera for you. If not, then maybe the sensor size won't be too much of an issue. You action photographers out there will definitely appreciate our 5th point on the list, which is the continuous shooting rates that you get with this camera. You have 12 frames per second with the mechanical shutter and up to 20 frames per second using the electronic shutter, meaning that technically you should never miss a shot. 2, 1, action. To support that massive shooting rate, you need to have an autofocusing system that can keep up. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of blurry photos. And this is our 6th point. The autofocusing system on the R6 has over 1,000 selectable autofocus points that can cover 100% of the frame with eye autofocus and face tracking. You can concentrate on taking the picture and getting your composition and exposure right instead of fiddling around with focus points. With native RF glass attached and set to autofocus on, you can fire a burst of photos and get extremely sharp pictures, ensuring that you don't miss a thing. Our next point again is for the professional photographers among you, and that is the dual card slots. Something that the photography community complained about prolifically was the single card slot on the original Canon EOS R, and Canon definitely don't want to repeat that mistake. Now both the RF and R6 have dual card slots. The R6 offers dual UHS-2 memory card slots, and it's recommended that you use cards with fast writing speed since they will clear the buffer the fastest when shooting on those high bursts. The cards that we used for our shoots were the SanDisk Extreme Pro 300 megabytes per second cards, and we had no issues at all. For the next point, and I make a big thing about this for all of the R cameras, but I'm going to mention it again. The next point on the list is this, the flip out screen. I love the versatility that this simple piece of functionality gives you, allowing you to switch from professional photographer and videographer to full frame vlogger and content creator. And a few of my favorite content creators are currently using the Canon R6 on YouTube, and it's really cool to see all the types of content that they are able to create with this bit of kit using this bit of functionality. Our 9th point is around the RF to EF adapter. Now this will cost you a little more money, and there are some package deals that you can find floating around which will bundle this adapter along with the R6. And really, I suspect that there will be a lot of legacy Canon users out there looking at this camera as a possible upgrade to their older 5D series full frame DSLRs. And if you, like me, are one of those people, then you will definitely have amassed an arsenal of Canon EF glass. And the good news is this camera works very well with those older lenses and pipes through your focusing settings and things like image stabilization, helping you out while you move across to the RF ecosystem. The final plus point on our list is the price tag. It's still quite expensive, coming in at £2,600 and $2,500 brand new on the Canon UK and US stores respectively, but that's still $1,500 to $2,000 less than the Canon R5. And considering you get the same 5-axis IBIS, the same Digic X processor, and the same continuous shooting rate and excellent autofocusing systems, it sits at a mid-range, semi-professional level and price range that is relatively affordable for the working professional. So those are my 10 reasons to consider getting yourself a Canon R6 in 2021. But what do you guys think? Are you eager to get one, or are you eyeing up something else? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you found today's video useful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that little bell for notifications. All that's left to say is stay creative, stay safe, imagine, implement, and inspire. And I'll see you next time on KaiCreative.